Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Let's see, is it after midnight? Yes, it is. So it's December 29th of 2022, and I've been working, my voice is giving out again. I see the doctor on the 4th, I think. And I think I'll ask her, I don't know if she can take a look at it or something. I never had this problem before. And my voice is having difficulty keeping up with this here. I am somebody who almost has never drinking water. I'm afraid it's going to steal my vital fluids. I think it's a little too late for me to try to correct zero water during my lifetime. But what I have been trying to do, but a lot of times I forget, or I'm, not near it or something, but what I'm trying to do, have been trying to do for a while here is, fill up this Yeti stainless steel, I think, and, fill it with ice, and then pour Coke. Of course, as soon as I start pouring Coke into it, even though the Coke is cold, the ice starts melting, so I'll be getting some water. I have both cameras now hooked up. That's the Razor, what is it? I forget. And then over there is the Avery Media. And I've made progress. It would be yesterday now, but I just got this new B-Link computer. I've switched back and forth about, but I've decided really what I'm going to do is take that monitor down, put it back with the rest of the monitors, and put the old B-Link computer someplace, find a box for it, put it up on the shelf, and it'll be available here if we need it. Let me have a drink here. I've got my printer hooked up. I hooked it up a few days ago, but I haven't had a printer in I don't know how long. I mean, over a year, I think. I'm not sure how long. Anyway, I've got the printer hooked up and working. Both of these monitors are doing 1080. Might give me your opinion, what you think. I've got these at 1080, by, what is it? 1920 by 1080. Now, both of these monitors well, this one goes to 2560 by 1440, and then the It goes to 3840 by 2160. I think both of these will do 2560 by 1440. Let's see here. No, this one just does 1920 by, so that solves that. Of course, I have a closet full of monitors, but that solves that, so I'm not going to mess with that. And I'm making, using Manicam, I'm using 60, frames per second. Seems to be working okay. The have all these cables in front of the computer here. This thing is, well, it's a little warm, but just a small amount. And I haven't heard the fan, but my hearing isn't good. I'm going to keep messing around until I mess something up. What I want to do is, the very few things I want to do is it's making these YouTube videos. And I'm thinking of things that I can add. I hate to not use something. I've got about 5 or 6 sound cards, not cards that go in the computer, but outside, external. I'm thinking maybe I should play around with that. Probably not a good idea, though. Where's my ham radio license? I'm pretty sure, yeah, wait a minute. Here it is. Expiration date. 12/29 of 2022. Okay. My ham radio license has expired. And, I've got 2 years, I think it is, with, to renew if I want to. I hope I can not do it. But I've been doing it for so long. And there's, a lot of times that things were accomplished. I haven't done nearly, though, what a lot of ham radio operators have done. There goes my voice. What a lot of ham radio operators over the years have done, over many, many years. Helping out with parades, going out and watching for tornadoes and bad weather, and it'd be kind of funny if my voice, for some reason, but the only thing I'm doing is, making YouTube videos. It'd be kind of funny if I couldn't do that anymore. I guess there's always something you could do, Of course, if it's throat cancers, that's not good. But so I think I mentioned, they got the April Media camera now working. So I have you know, two good cameras here. This one's not. This is the Avery Media. It's not a very good view for it. Wonder if I need to come in here closer with it or get it up higher and pointing down or something. Of course, this is also my worst side. I really don't need any cameras aiming at this side. That's not good. Well, there's just no good video of me, but this one up here, you know, it favors me better. Let's see. What's going on in the world, I guess. Oh, let's see, what's this popping up here? Well, let us see what is something else popping up here. Why is everything popping up here? Well, let's see, my last video 3 hours ago has got 15 views. A video the day before that has got 48 views. And 2 days ago, 53 views. My video that I just ordered, a B-Link U59, that's 4 days ago, got a 201 views. Anyway, when I wake up, whenever that is, I'm going to put that computer up over there, put it away. Not because it is bad, but I need a naproxen. Oh, I need to take my morning medication too. I'm going to take an Uber to my doctor's office on the 4th. And I've got the paperwork printed out. There's a service here in Fort Worth that if you meet the criteria, you can take advantage of the Trinity Metro Access, and they ask, you know, for questions. Um, my doctor several years ago, I asked him to fill out the paperwork so I could take advantage of it. He told me, no, I wasn't, bad enough or whatever. I think I am now, but I'm not seeing him. I'm seeing the nurse physician or whatever they call. She's real nice. And whatever she decides, okay, but do you need a manual wheelchair, electric wheelchair, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It seems like I have total heart block, and that's all you need to get parking. Well, it may vary with states. I'm not sure if that varies with, I bet that is a uniform, but I think pretty much that would qualify. But I mean, I wouldn't, if I just had heart block, I don't think, it's my mobility. And I have a hell of a time putting shoes on. Well, I don't have any shoes that fit. But getting the things that the pair that I have on is, and my blood pressure shoots up when I try to get them on and all that kind of stuff. So, it'd help a lot if I could get this access. Now, it's not free, and you pay more than if you were to, go use the bus. But I have to be really careful that I don't fall. But so, I mean, then on the, well, even if my doctor fills it out, they say it takes 21 days for them to check it out and let you know. If you get the thing, you'll get it in like 21 days, they say. But I got a appointment with the heart doctor on the 15th or the 20th or something like that. So even if they submit this for me, even if my regular doctor submits it, I won't have any time for that, so I'll be using an Uber also for that. We don't have a car. None of us have a driver's license. I'm talking about myself and my grown son and my ex-wife, and she's wheelchair bound. Now, I've traveled on the bus or the transportation because the ex-wife, she uses, well, she hardly ever gets out, but she used it in the past. And then our grown son, he would go with her for grocery shopping and that type of stuff. And they would get 2 baskets full of groceries and a half of, and the third would be filled up, not filled up half. I know that because my son was in the hospital for 2 or 3 months. And so I had to go with her on the MITS thing. They charge too for, if somebody goes with you, they charge also for that person. But really in this country, we need to do better with people that are poor and people that have medical problems and all the type of things that it's not, I know the Republicans, they scream about, Sweden and Denmark and, well, actually, all the European countries, well, all the civilized countries of the world, about how communism is just terrible and it's horrible. It's not. Not that I've been. I went, well, one time we went to Mexico for a few days. But Hillary was married to a Swede, and I think she was there about 10 years or whatever. And she speaks highly of it. As people that know speak highly of Sweden and those other Scandinavian countries. And people say, oh, it's just terrible, and it's communism and the taxes. Now, the taxes are high. I wish I could remember it, I'd put the link, but I saw a YouTube video the other day, and they showed what taxes, a person pays, an average person or whatever, what taxes they pay. And they pay a lot of taxes, but you still have money left over, which I don't have money left over now. When I get my Social Security, that's it. But anyway, they showed the taxes. I can't remember the names of them all, but they have taxes for taxes for everything, so that you are from baby bed to your trip in the coffin or whatever. Everything's taken care of. I mean, there's money put away into different funds that come in to help you or whatever. So anyway, but it's not going to happen in the United States, because you just can't convince the the right-wing people, because they go for the they believe the stuff that they're told, and you're not going to convince them of very much, because there's something about it. You tell people, the right wing and the Republicans, tell people, oh, healthcare in Canada is terrible. Oh, it's just terrible. You wait for years to get something done. Or, that's not true, And they talk about, there's message boards which are not political. Well, people try to make some of them political, but it's kind of funny. And there's always, just about, it seems like every day, somebody will say, oh, socialized medicine, communism, it's no good. You don't get medical care, and it's so expensive. And it's interesting. I saw one the other day, and it was the person said, I think he'd read the things too, or somebody left a thing about how, he was answering it. That was what he was doing. He was answering it back. Somebody said, that in Canada, the expenses are just taxes are just so bad, and you pay so much for things. And the guy, he went on for quite a while. He talked about, and I forget whose problem, I don't think it was his problem, a family member, maybe a child, I can't remember. But he said, he did like a teaser at the beginning. Yeah, oh yeah, I had to pay money. Then he gets down and he had to pay, all he paid was $15 twice for parking. And that's the same thing too with the UK. I've seen that where somebody will, say, well, and even Americans over there, I don't know how that works, but even Americans over there, I've seen where they've said, oh, well, something, something happened to their family member or whatever. And they said the same thing. They said, yep, the ambulance didn't cost me anything. The emergency room didn't cost me anything. The 2 weeks in the bed, didn't cost me anything. But we had to pay for parking, a couple dollars a day for parking or something. But you're not going to convince the right-wing people because for some reason I think it's, oh, by the way, in medical care, the United States, we're 37 in in how good it is, I think we have a lot of high-tech stuff, and we have some really good, doctors or whatever. But, well, our, we're dying younger than we should, and, or is it older? And, all the problems that, it's, and two, now I spent 30 years working hospital security, and it doesn't do any good to try to, tell the Republicans or the right wing. They'll say, and even the politicians will say, which now they know better, even the Republican, they know better, but they say it, which is, flat out lying. They'll say, and everybody can get medical care. All you have to do is just go to the hospital, and they'll take care of, they'll take care of your medical care. I can tell you, if you come in, with something you're going to die, a heart attack or something like that, yep, they'll, they'll take care of you. They're not going to turn you away if you're having something like that. The problem is you're going to get billed for all that, unless you have insurance, and even if you have insurance, it's probably not going to be enough. And then you're going to get medical bills, that are astronomical. And the thing is, too, and I've seen this, I've seen this, somebody comes in with a broken arm, and and you're going to get charged, by the way, but if you don't have the money and you can't pay it, it will be turned over to a collection agency. It'll be turned over to a collection agency, and they'll be after you to because the hospitals turn it over. Now, is there some hospital someplace that maybe doesn't? I don't think so. I think they turn it over. They all. And there was a couple guys who've written books, doctors. All right, were they doctors or lawyers? Now I can't remember. But they, they went and, like, I forget, I can't remember the numbers, but there was I'm looking to see what time it is. There was a fairly small hospital in an area. And let's see, how did these other, anyway, the people's names are listed in the local paper, the thing, towns was, that's the only news, and it'll be filled with people that are being taken to court by the hospital. And I can't remember exactly how this thing worked, but somehow the other hospitals, they filed in this small, community, and so the paper was just filled. Like it was a small hospital. I forget how small, maybe 50-bed hospital there, but the paper was filled with people being sued. And what happens all the time, I think all the time, is that people don't even show up for the court case. There's not much point. I mean, also, if you show up, if you don't show up, then you lose your case. And that's what they're counting on. Then it gets turned over to collection agencies. But it's set up, you know, there'll be like maybe one lawyer there representing all of these hospitals. And of course the judge, it's all the judge is doing. You know, that judge, all he does is all day long, you know, handle these cases. And it's cut and dried what's going to happen, especially when you don't show up. And these two, and I can't remember now if they were doctors. I think they were doctors or lawyers, but anyway. In the book that they wrote and in the interview where I saw them being interviewed on, you know, on the internet or something, they went for a few days to that court that was filled every day with people, you know. And as soon as they showed up, these two guys, the court was adjourned and didn't come back until they didn't come back anymore. And I forget all the other things that are just, you know, unbelievable that, oh, anyway, you know, so far as going to the hospital and getting treated, yeah, you'll get treated if it's for, you know, something that life-threatening, you know, breathing difficulty, something like that, a stroke, heart attack, you know, major bleeding or something. They're going to stop the bleeding, you know, and whatever. If you come like with a broken arm, certain things, if you come in with a broken arm and the ER doctor, you know, they do the x-rays and the doctor will, ER doctor will, you know, put it in a sling and that type of stuff. And then they'll tell you, you know, okay, you need to see an orthopedic surgeon for your broken arm. Okay, the orthopedic surgeon isn't going to, maybe you'll find somebody that's a good person, you know what I mean, and does what they can. But generally, no. You get a referral to go to the orthopedic surgeon. He's not going to do surgery that's you know, involved and takes a major amount of time and all that type of stuff. Not going to do it. And I remember, you know, cases like that. You know, plastic surgeons too, depending on what it is. Yeah, it's a terrible system here in the United States, and there isn't any reason for it to be that way. Now, you know, you know, I worked all my life. I can't remember a day. I must have had a day sometime that was where I didn't work. I mean, I didn't work. I mean, a lot of times I had jobs where I had off 2 days a week, you know. And I even worked for a while. I saw a thing on CNN, some type of a discussion, or I didn't read it or whatever, but they talked about how the people are trying out the 4-day work week. I worked for years, a 4-day work week. I worked 8 hours, 2 days a week, and then 12 hours a day, 2 days a week. So the way it worked out is I worked, it changed once, but I worked Thursday and Friday, 8-hour shift. It didn't seem bad, you know. Midnight shift though, that's bad. A lot of places pay extra money to somebody who works the second shift, and then more money, a little more money if you worked the, you know, the midnight shift. But I even worked when I didn't work 4-day work week. I worked midnight shifts, so as a welder for years. Yeah, midnight shift is bad. When you can fall asleep welding, that's kind of a sign, you know, that's one sign. But anyway, 4-day work week worked out good for me. Thursday, Friday, 8-hour shift. Wasn't too bad. And then, you know, Saturday and Sunday, 12-hour shift. So, you know, and then I had off, you know, 3 days. Is that right? 4 days? Yeah, 3 days. And now, how did I patrol for years with the Raymore PD Reserve as a reserve? Because I never missed a Sunday night. Okay, what was the deal with that? Can't remember. Also, all those years, I went out when the weather was blizzards and everything else. If it was a Sunday night, I went over. There'd be nobody. I wouldn't be relieving anybody because all we had was reserve officers then for quite a while. But then I'd go in and have to get the car, you know, police car out of the garage, and then I would patrol, get out there and, you know, drive. I never got stuck, but you know, I'd have the radio on at home a lot of times, or be at the hospital, and I would also scan, you know, Raymore PD. And some of the guys did get, you know, stuck. Anyway, so many things need to be fixed here in the United States, and I don't see it happening because of our capitalistic system. I'm not saying we should go communist, you know, that's, you know, but you know, our Congress doesn't work, and also the way it works out, it's actually bribery, you know, they're being bribed, the Congress people. And even if you try to curtail that in some way, it would still be, you know, the people representing, you know, the lobbyists would still be going to the congressman and then be saying, you know, hey, you know, when you get done with your term, or when you get done with this or that, we'll have a job for you in our corporation, you know, at major, you know, and they're being paid, they're being bribed is what it, you know, what it is. And, you know, I've talked on here about various things like that. And before this, well, I was doing videos before this too, but you know, with my WordPress printed, you know, online site and that type of stuff. Well, I think my voice isn't going to last. So I don't know what the doctor can do. If it's something bad, it's bad. If it's just that I'm old and my voice is, you know, giving out, then I'm just going to be making videos that are shorter, 30 minutes or something. Or I could make 15-minute video and not upload it, and then make later on a 30-minute video or something, and then put them together. You know, I can try to do something, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm 81. I had really good health until I was 65. Really good health. And even when he got 65, then it was, prostate trouble a little, and stuff like that. Okay, I got to stop. So thank you for trying to listen to this voice.